everyone. Welcome back to Bible Talk Time. Grab your family, grab your Bible and your lesson sheet. We have some fun things to talk about today. You might be wondering, well, what in the world are these things that Miss Alicia has beside her? Well, these are some cups that can be filled with water. These are prison chains. What in the world do they have to do with each other? And what do they have to do with our Bible lesson? Well, let's see if we can figure that out. First, we'll fill the cups with water, okay? Watch what happens when I fill this top cup with water. It's filled, but look, it begins to overflow and fill the other cups. Not just the top cup, but the other cups are being filled as well. So when I pour in the water, even the other cups are filled as the water pours into them. I'm going to stop there before I make a big, huge mess. Now let me move it so that we can see what that has to do with our Bible lesson. But I do want you to know this. I filled the top cup, but the other cups began to fill as well as the top one overflowed into the others. Well, filling cups, prison chains. Let's see what the Bible has to say about these things. You'll remember that we've been talking about Joseph, and the life story of Joseph is found in the book of Genesis. So open your Bible to Genesis chapter 39, and we're going to read there in just a minute. You will remember that Joseph has been put in prison in Egypt for something that he didn't even do. But his master Potiphar believed the bad report and threw him into prison. How did Joseph survive in such a terrible place? Archaeologists have studied Egyptian prisons, and they tell us that they were horrible places. Prisoners were treated terribly. And even the Bible tells about this in the book of Psalms, and it says that Joseph had fetters, he had chains around his arms, around his ankles, and even around his neck. That's a terrible way to live. Chained to the floor or the wall of a prison? You might think, well, Joseph could handle it because he knew that God was with him. Remember that verse that we learned last week in Isaiah? Isaiah chapter 41 says, I am the Lord your God, and who takes care of you and takes hold of your right hand. I will help you. Do not be afraid. And I'm sure that that helped Joseph to know that God was holding his hand. And it made him want to hold God's hands too, remember? You might think, nothing like that's ever going to happen to me. I'm never going to be thrown into prison. And I hope that you're not. I hope that I'm not. But still, bad things do happen even to good people. Think about it. Joseph tried to always do what was right. He tried to do what was right even though his brothers mistreated him. He tried to do what was right even though Potiphar's wife told a bad lie about him and he got thrown into prison. Joseph always tried to do what was right. And we try to do what's right. But it doesn't mean that bad things won't happen to us. They will. In fact, there's another Bible verse that I want to share with you. And that is this one from the book of Psalms. And it says, the righteous person may have troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them all. Joseph had terrible troubles, and we might have troubles. Now, maybe God won't get us out of the bad situation. He didn't get Joseph out, right? He was in prison. But he will take care of the situation eventually. He will deliver us. So, Joseph was a good person. And even in prison, he was a good person. What do you think helped him? Knowing that God was going to help him, what are some other things that might have helped Joseph in prison? Well, one of the things is that Joseph looked for the blessings. Now, he could have said, blessings? What blessings? I don't have any blessings. No good things happen to me. A blessing is something that makes your life better. So, when God blesses you, he does something that makes your life better. When you bless someone, you're doing something that makes their life better. But Joseph could have said, well, my life is terrible. I don't have any blessings. He could have sat around thinking about all of the bad things. He could have sat around thinking about how he could get revenge on all those people that mistreated him. But he didn't do that. He looked for the blessings, and he was thankful for them. What blessings are we talking about? Well, let's start reading in Genesis 39, and let's look and see what it says in verse 20. It says, Joseph's master took him and put him in prison, remember? The place where the king's prisoners were confined. But while Joseph was there in the prison, the Lord was with him. He showed him kindness and granted him favor in the eyes of the prison warden. The warden is the boss of the prison. He's the chief jailer. He takes care of things. He runs the prison. Well, the warden took a liking to Joseph. He was impressed because he saw that Joseph didn't just sit around. He didn't just plot revenge, but he always tried to do his best. You see, in Egyptian prisons, the prisoners had to work hard. They had to maybe dig in the dirt for building projects. They had to cut stones. They would have to take care of their own food. Well, Joseph worked hard at those things. So the Lord blessed him. Let's see what else it says about this. Verse 22. So the warden put Joseph in charge of all those that were held in the prison. And he was made responsible for all that was done there. The warden paid no attention to anything under Joseph's care because the Lord was with Joseph and gave him success in whatever he did. That warden didn't have to worry because he knew that Joseph would do a good job. So you see, Joseph looked for the blessings. He saw how God was helping him and he was thankful for it. And his life did get better, even though he was still in prison. Come to think of it, even the warden's life got better, didn't it? Because Joseph blessed him. He did good things to make the warden's life better. The warden didn't even have to worry about doing his job. Well, what else does Joseph do that helps him? He does look for the blessings and he's thankful for them. Here's a verse in Philippians that will really help us when bad things happen. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. That's what Joseph did. He looked for the blessings. He was thankful for them and talked to God about what he requested. He asked God to keep on helping him. And we can do that too. When bad things happen, look for the blessings. Look at the good things that are happening in your life. Right now, maybe things aren't exactly the way you would have them to be. Maybe you haven't seen your family in a long time. Maybe you haven't gotten to get together with friends. But there are blessings. There are good things that are happening to make your life better. So look for them and be thankful for them, and then ask God to help you. Well, that is what Joseph did. But look what else he did. He helped other people. When bad things are happening to you, count your blessings, thank God, ask him for help, and then help somebody else. Be a blessing to someone else. What do you mean Joseph helped others? Well, let's read about it. Let's look back in Genesis and let's look in chapter 40 and see what happened. At that time, 2 other men came into custody, and they were the cupbearer for Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. A cupbearer is a person who serves the wine and the food to the king, and he makes sure that it's not poison, that it's good. So his job is important. But evidently, the cupbearer to Pharaoh did something that made Pharaoh very angry, and he threw him in prison. Also, Pharaoh's baker, the man who baked the bread for him, did something that made Pharaoh mad. We don't know what. And Pharaoh threw him in the prison. They were in the same prison with Joseph. And each of the 2 men, in verse 5, the cupbearer and the baker, were being held in that prison. They each had a dream on the same night. And each one had a meaning of its own, but they didn't know what it meant. When Joseph came to them the next morning, he saw that they were dejected. So he asked Pharaoh's officials, "Why are your faces so sad today?" Joseph helped them. He cared about them. He said, "Why are you sad?" You know, he could have just said, "Here's your food, leave me alone. I don't care about you." But he didn't do that. He took notice of them and he helped them. Well, what kind of help did he give them? Well, they had their dreams, but they didn't know what they meant. Joseph knew that God had blessed him with the ability to interpret the dreams. So here's what Joseph said to them. In the last part of verse 8, Joseph said, "Do not the interpretation of dreams belong to God? Can't God tell us what your dreams mean? Tell me your dreams." So they did. The cupbearer had a dream that went like this. He dreamed that there were 3 branches with grapes. The grapes got ripe. He took the grapes, he squeezed them into Pharaoh's cup, and then he gave the good grape juice to Pharaoh. He did not know what that dream meant, but Joseph did because God told him. Joseph said, "Cupbearer, your dream means that after 3 days, you're going to get your job back. You're going to be able to give the king his juice and his food again." Well, the baker also had a dream, and his dream was something like this. He dreamed that he was carrying 3 baskets of bread on top of his head. Well, birds came and began to eat the bread out of the top basket. The baker was worried too. What does my dream mean? And Joseph explained, "Your dream means that after 3 days, you're not going to get your job back. Just like the birds ate the bread, you won't be able to give bread to the king. You will die after 3 days." Wow. Because God blessed Joseph, he could help other people. And that helps a person to deal with their bad situation. When your life is tough, think about your blessings. Think about how you can bless someone else. How can you make their life better? Maybe it won't have anything to do with prison chains, but it will have something to do with how you can be a blessing. You can help them. So when God fills your cup with blessings, you can pour those blessings over into other people's lives too. Just like Joseph blessed Potiphar, Joseph blessed the jailer, Joseph blessed more people, which we'll learn about later. You can do that too. And God will help you. God will always be with you. He's always holding your hand. So be thankful when he blesses you, and then help someone else. See you next time.